I had a breakdown. I had to take time off of work. I looked at myself in the mirror, did not like who I was. I found what I realized when all the walls came down and I stood there naked in front of the mirror, seeing myself for the first time probably in my life. I did not like what I saw. I was incredibly judgmental, very angry, very self-entitled. It was a typical television executive kind of guy. And I almost lost Karen. I almost lost my daughter. I almost lost my career. I almost lost everything. Somehow, the universe was so kind to me and dropped the perfect person in my lap, reintroduced me to meditation, which I took to immediately, like a fish to water. And then that opened the door to further conversations with myself.
Welcome to The Reluctant Medium, where we cover the gamut of out there conversations. With an open mind and a curious heart, we want to talk about it all. From psychic phenomena and energy medicine to beings from other star systems and out-of-body experiences. You'll find a great balance between grounded science-backed topics and others that science hasn't quite caught up to yet. I'm your host, Dr. Maria Rothenburger, a psychotherapist by trade and a reluctant spirit baby communicator. And hey, even though I'm a medium, I'm not buying everything folks are selling. I just have a voracious appetite to know more about what I call the world of the weird. Join us on your favorite podcast platform or watch on YouTube at The Reluctant Medium. I'll see you there. Hello, everyone. Welcome back to the Reluctant Medium podcast. I'm Dr. Maria Rothenburger, your host for the podcast. And I have, once again, I just said before, two of my favorite people on the planet, Will Rodriguez and Karen Endsley. They are the skeptic. Well, I think Will is more the skeptic metaphysician, right? Karen's more like, I think this shit's real.
Yeah, we can dive into
I'm along for the ride. Yeah.
I get to work with these two on TV shows. You all know about our beautiful TV network that we're going to be talking about more today, and other things too. We're kind of like going for the ride in today's interview. There's just so much rich stuff to talk about. But the main purpose, again, what we were talking about before, of our work together is to infuse the planet with some high vibration stuff because it's pretty much a shit show right now. Hi. Yeah.
What?
I know. I know. Wait a minute. Everything's sunshine and rainbows. What are you saying?
Right.
Yeah. Anyway, welcome, Will and Karen. Hi.
Hi. Thanks for having us. Yeah, this is fun. It's always a pleasure being with you.
Mm-hmm.
Likewise. Yeah. Let's infuse some good energy onto the planet today with this chat and this good conversation.
Let's do that.
I had you on, 2 years ago now? I don't know when it was. It was a while
Has
ago.
It only been 2 years? It feels like it's been 40.
I know.
I mean, so much has happened between then and now.
It's true, though. It's true. Back then, we actually highlighted how to be a healthy skeptic, right?
Mm-hmm.
Because this is who you are, right? You think things through first and gather some evidence and things. And now I'm curious if things are different, changed, where you are with skeptic stuff.
Yeah, that's a great place to start because we've got a level set. Excuse me.
Yeah.
In your intro, you talked about the fact that I was a skeptic, and you're not wrong. I've always talked about the importance of being discerning in terms of, especially in this industry or vertical, whatever you want to call it. There's a lot of folks that are out there to try to just fleece someone for their money. And where I grew up, right, there were a lot of people like that. So you learn to become much more pragmatic. However, the show's been on the air for about 4 years now. And over the course of the last 4 years, there have been things that have happened, conversations I've had, experiences that I've gone through that make me go, yeah, this shit is real. There's no doubt, right? There's no skepticism in me anymore. So there was a point where we talked about changing the name of the show because I no longer find myself resonating with the term skeptic. But everyone knows the show is a Skeptic Metaphysician, so it would be a
I know.
whole difficult, like we'd have to rebrand everything. It was just, ugh,
I know.
right? So what we decided was, it made perfect sense when we talked it through. It was like, you know what? We've always done the show. Not always. I first did the show for me, but eventually we started doing the show for those people out there that need these types of messages.
Mm-hmm.
We're doing it for others, and all the messages we've gotten has been, thank you for helping me. Thank you for helping me feel normal, all these kinds of things, right? But we've always done it in a way that makes people find an easy way to wrap their minds around some of these concepts that are so woo that people go, wait, that's bullshit. That's way crazy bad shit. So with the advent of quantum physics and all this kinds of stuff, things are more dicey in that frame now. So we have decided to keep the name of the show as is, because we may no longer be the Skeptic Metaphysicians, but our audience is.
Oh, yeah.
And so the Skeptic Metaphysicians is now named in honor of those that are listening to the show.
That's awesome. I know there's so many things that have happened. Even I learned from your show about the harmonic egg.
Yeah.
Love the harmonic egg so much.
amazing.
Right? Right? Okay,
Amazing.
briefly,
Yes.
can we just say what I talked about it on my show, but briefly, what do you know of the harmonic egg?
Gosh, well, we've both been in it a few times. We've had our daughter, we've had my sister. Like, we just get everyone in those eggs if we can. But the most intense experience I had was I actually was taking my sister in.
No, but what is it first?
Oh, what is it?
Yeah.
Oh, what is a harmonic egg?
Mhm.
It's an egg that's harmonic. No, it's
I know.
it's a woman that constructed it. She was an engineer and started studying frequencies and energies and decided to create an environment that would really kind of bring all of that in and together and kind of in an intense situation. And so it's the shape of an egg, and it's made with specific, I believe it was olive tree
wood.
I almost said olive oil wood, olive tree wood, because it's a very spiritual wood. And
I didn't know that.
Yeah, yeah, and it's beautiful. You go inside, and it's not anything tiny. I mean, you could do a jumping jack, and that's for me. I have a little bit of claustrophobia, so I'm like, if I can move my arms and do a jumping jack, that's all the space I need.
Right.
But it's bigger than that. It has a chair inside that is a recliner. And so you go inside to this little egg, and the part of the process is the person puts you in the egg, and she like nestles you with these
Yeah, it's
blankets.
very
Like this
nurturing.
you're like in this little egg. You know, you're like a little baby chicken or something.
Like you're the embryo in the egg.
Yes, you are.
And she, prior to that, there's a consultation. They ask you about, all kinds of questions about yourself. So she, based on that, picks out music and color. So when you're in, so the door closes, but you can still see light around it, so you don't ever feel like you're trapped. But you hear this music and these different lights kind of come and change, and it's just this incredible, very very relaxing experience. But the energy is working, the sound, the light, and the particular one that we went into, the lady that runs that place said that she sees entities. Was it 4 entities, like doctors, outside of the egg working.
Whoa.
Inside
on
the
you.
egg with you.
No, she said she was outside.
Oh.
Well, maybe they go inside. I don't know. It's been a while, maybe inside. But these 4 entities that work on you while you're in the egg.
Yeah.
Wow.
So yeah,
Whoa.
pretty woo stuff, right? If I was still a skeptic, I'd be
woo.
like, come on,
woo.
right? Right, exactly. But we've had these incredible experiences by going to this egg. Like, there's no question that this thing is, in fact, a healing methodology that works. We have absolutely tangible proof. Speaking of, COVID alone, with Karen's experiences and my daughter Sienna's experience, it literally made them feel better within 24 hours. It's outstanding.
But it was that
Yeah.
after COVID experience that just floored me.
Yeah.
So
It's crazy. And it is it's a thing that's like, what?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
But I found a place here, close-ish. It's like an hour away. And I was like, I'm taking my son who has epilepsy.
Yes.
So I took him. And by the way, if you have children and they don't want to sit in this egg by themselves, you get to go in with them, right?
Right.
So
yeah.
we cuddled up together in that recliner, and he picked the colors that were in there. And his epilepsy, he still has breakthrough little seizures every day. Those quieted down for a significant period of time. I want to say at least 2 weeks. It's been a while. But we haven't gone back because it's so far away. But then she did say here's another woo.
Yes.
Yep.
Distance, right?
Yes.
Like
That's
this
how
works from afar.
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah. They've had cases of uncommunicative kids going into the egg and coming back speaking. I mean, it's an astounding thing.
What?
Yeah.
Yes. And yes, absolutely. We interviewed the person, the founder, the
creator?
person, the
Yeah.
creator. Yes, thank you. And she was giving us all these stories of things, and we were like, "Come on!" This is before we experienced it. But here's the thing: it is a very woo thing. However, in the interest of helping our audience wrap their minds around it, there is proven research that has been done on the impact of color and sound on the human body. So this is an intense bombardment of both. Those types of energies do absolutely help the human body in myriad ways. So just for that alone, if you don't want to believe in the woo, believe in science. The science has shown that color and sound do have a profound
they use
impact.
sound a lot in medical processes to obliterate kidney stones or one of those type of stones.
Yes.
And,
Yeah.
and different things.
Resonance.
So
Yeah.
They do. And there's a ton of research on distance healing too,
Yeah.
There
how
is.
effective it is. So it's unfortunate it's not as mainstream, which is what we're trying to do with new reality TV, right?
Definitely.
We're trying to create more mainstream information here. It is sciencey.
And
Right?
it's
It is.
incredible how people will so readily believe in the internet. You know?
Yes, I know.
Radio. You know, that's just energy and waves, but
Right.
it works. So obviously we're looking at each other right now.
Right.
But,
Yep.
thinking of Reiki or something like, oh, that's woo. Like,
Yeah.
how's it different?
Yep.
I just read an article where researchers might have found the first, the first noticeable or the first recordable evidence of string theory. Right. For those quantum physicists out there, there's a theory that
Nerdy.
claims that that the building blocks of everything are these strings that vibrate in different wavelengths. And we've all talked about the energies of the vibrations and how we are all energy and things like that. But no one's understood how this comes to be. Apparently, they just might have found the first evidence of string theory, like physical, tangible evidence. This type of shit is really exciting to me, right? Because that's been my mindset. And you talk about distance, right? The whole theory of quantum entanglement, which has now been proven, is not a theory. It is a fact of entanglement, right? That they separated a particle, I think it's 14 miles apart.
Spooky action at a distance.
Yeah. They separated 14 miles apart, and then they affected one particle and measured how long it took for the other particle to have that effect. It was instantaneous. It is proven stuff that when you think it through, suddenly it helps you wrap your mind around some of these woo concepts. It's not that woo if you look at it from that perspective.
Right. Right. And I love that you're appealing to the skeptic folks that are still listening to the show by the name, but it sounds like you are still the discerning.
That's just who I am. I'm always going to be a discerning guy. Someone tells me, yes, I can read your aura. I'm going to go, how? Like, are you sure? Like, what have you been drinking? How many drugs have you done? Things like that. But I want to believe. That's the difference, right? I'm one of those guys that has always, I've wanted, this stuff fascinates me, but I can't just accept it offhand.
We come in kind of at opposite angles because he's like, give me the proof and then I'll watch. And I'm like, ooh, let me see what it's like. And then I'm like, okay, well, how do you know? So it's kind of like the opposite.
Right. So somehow we're meeting in the middle. Now we're like switching places or something. I don't know.
That's why you go so well together. I'm going to dive into that egg. Okay, wait, what's happening here?
Right. You want me to go where? In what? Hang on a second. Yeah.
Oh my gosh, so much fun. So how did you come to this idea, and why did you come to this idea? We touched on it a little bit, of having a TV show network. Why that?
Oh, why not? Why not that? No, it's a really great question, actually. We are in the television industry by trade. That's what we are. We have TV producers and executives. My entire career has been in the television and film industry. And when we're doing the show, like we said, it was a way for us to help others. Eventually, first it was to help me 100%. When I got better, we were going to close it down and because I didn't need it anymore.
Well, and also it was taking so much time. You know how involved it is having a podcast and the editing and the, recording and getting them out there on that schedule.
Right.
And it can
Yes.
really, it's taking time away.
So we were gonna sunset it, but Karen said, before you do that, let me just look and see if anyone's even listening to this thing, right? So she did a Google search for the show, and she found Apple Podcasts. Now, I knew we were on Apple Podcasts, but we were newbies to the podcasting scene, so we didn't know that there was an actual place you could see all the reviews that you were getting. And so Karen was reading these review after it's like 5 pages of paragraphs of reviews saying how much this is helping these people and making them feel normal and helping them with
Yeah, there was that one guy, and he's like, the very last thing he said was, "Thank you for helping me to feel normal." And I'm like, that's
Oh,
it. We can't
God.
quit.
Yeah.
We can't.
How could you?
Yeah.
You're the source of my daily inspiration. I mean, all these kinds of things. So then, like a light bulb went off. It's like, oh my gosh. And she turned to me. She said, if you're helping even one more person, you can't stop. You can't quit the show. So we decided, okay, that means that you are now my co-host, and you're going to help. And then we found Descript, which is the program that we use for editing the show now, which makes it so much faster. And it helped, right? So it showed us that when your motivations are in the right place, the universe will provide for you what you need to get what you have to move it forward. And so that's exactly what happened. And then we, I'm sorry, I don't want to steal your analogy. So if you want to.
Go ahead. He says that every time he steals it.
I know, because it's such a great analogy. But I give credit where credit is due. This is not mine. This is Karen's, but it's really cool thought, right? So we think of us as a little candle in a huge room full of darkness, and off in the distance you see all these little flickers of candles everywhere, but none of the candles are really doing much to pierce that darkness. So what if we brought all of these candles together into one room and created this huge, bright, beautiful beacon that will undoubtedly pierce the darkness? That is what New Reality TV is all about.
Oh,
so
let that sit there for a minute.
Yes.
I love that. That's such a great analogy. Yeah, and how could you not when you have the potential of, you make me feel normal.
Yeah.
From many
Exactly.
other people.
And something that we realized, and I'm sure you've had the same, you meet with these people and you talk, and these people all over the world practicing so many different types of modalities, and they all just want to help.
Mhm.
There was so much love in every one of these conversations. And how could you not want to surround yourself with these people and let everyone else have that experience as well? And that's what we want to do. And the platform is great for people that believe in this stuff, for people that are interested, even people that think it's a bunch of hogwash. They can come in and they can learn something, and they can even just feel the energy. Just immersing yourself in that situation, and that energy is really incredible. We have a monthly meeting with our content partners, and after every one, I can be having the worst day, and I come out of those meetings just jazzed and like,
Yeah.
this is fantastic, because everyone there is just wanting to share their light, their love, their energy, and to help people. And how can you not feel great in that?
Yeah. We can't help but think that we were all positioned all across the globe, because New Reality TV is an international venture. It's not an American one in its entirety. It's founded here, but we have content partners from all over the globe. And the more we talk to people, the more we're like, you are really far away from us. But as is Mark Wiseman, who's in Alaska, and Saruda, who's in Thailand, and the Munsons, who are in Portugal, right? We're all over the globe. Can't help but feel that's by design. We are strategically placed across the planet in different places so that our flames can then ignite those people in our immediate area. And then when you unite all those flames together, we will cover the planet with these messages, with these flames of inspiration and hope and love that will drive these messages forward and will help pierce this gunk that we are mired in right now, right? There's so much fear being thrown at us all the time, left and right. We want to be a place where people can go and go, okay, I'm home. I'm good. This is good. That is what we're trying to do with New Reality.
Yeah. Whew, what a goal.
Right?
I mean,
Jeez
Yeah,
Louise.
yeah.
Yeah, high expectations.
I know, right?
Well,
Nothing
when you
wrong
think
with that.
when you think about it that way, yeah, it's a little unnerving, but we just take it a step at a time, right? One content partner at a time. All we can do is what we can do, and the key there is in the intention. The intent is to help.
Right. If we set the bar really high compared to where we are now, even if we don't hit it, we're still going to be above where we are now.
Yeah. One of the
Yeah.
Conversations with God books that I am a huge fan of, from Neil Donald Walsh, specifically, and I just read it this morning, so funny, there's no coincidences. I literally just read this passage this morning that says that higher energy beings or higher vibrational beings don't necessarily do things for a result. They do it because the act of doing it is what is the joyous thing for them to do. So for us, it's not the end result. It is the act of us standing this up and running it day to day. That's what feeds our soul. And whether or not this gets to be $1 million thing or it's just the three of us, the act of us putting it together is an act of service for us that is making us feel right with ourselves.
Yeah. Well, so many people on the planet are like, I need to do something. What can I do? I feel so useless. And this is one area that you're doing. You are doing the things.
What we're doing, yeah.
And one of the other important aspects beyond just having a network where people can come and watch these shows is the community that we're building. And so we have we call it the inner circle where our content partners can connect with each other. As you know, being on each other's shows. Some of them are even meeting up in person, which is fantastic. We've got our Thai Buddhist monk that's going to meet with our Alaska shaman. It's just
They're
wonderful.
both so cool.
In person. They are.
I mean, you don't have to say a word, just be in their presence and you're like, oh my God.
Totally. Absolutely. Yeah.
Yes, and then we're extending that. We do have a membership program because we are needing to cover our bandwidth and things like that. But the upper level of the membership, we're going to have also an outer circle so that people that come in and explore the space and want to connect with these actual content partners will have the ability to do so.
Yeah.
And really create that community even more. It's like a little spider web, a little network that's just kind of taken over the whole world.
Right. And that's really at the heart of it. It's what we're building as a community. It's not really TV network. The TV network is there, but the community behind it is what's important to us, because in this portal we'll have like live demonstrations and classes and workshops. And we just had a summit a few months ago, and there's a lot of that. We want to build a place where people can feel like they belong. And the TV side of it, it's just the entryway into a bigger space that we feel is really the mission behind it all.
And even, the more people see it, even if they're just talking about it, at least they're talking about that and not politics. You know what I mean?
Yes.
So it just changes
Exactly.
the dialogue, which is the beginning.
Does.
Yeah.
It does. I want every listener / watcher right now to imagine watching your favorite Netflix something and being able to then go to an outer circle and connect with those people.
Yes, exactly.
Imagine that.
Yeah.
That
is exactly what we're talking about. Yeah. Are you kidding?
Yeah.
I think Walter Goggins would be like, okay, enough. Get this guy off my screen.
Stalker.
Yeah. Right.
That is such a beautiful, beautiful goal / process, right? And I'm thinking about, now I'm so in the metaphysical realm, thinking particles and waves now. I'm like, ooh, now those candles are particles and waves. Like, oh.
Exactly.
Anyway.
And only in the act of viewing them do they actually exist. And thus.
Aha, yes.
Right.
There we go. Come to new reality TV.
Exactly. There's the visual component that makes it all make it worthwhile, make it actually run, make it happen.
I should say the subscription prices are not astronomical.
Oh, they're crazy. Yeah, they're crazy cheap.
I know. They're crazy cheap. Y'all are a little bit crazy, and I'm a psychotherapist. I can
You can recognize crazy.
Officially diagnosed. I had a feeling, but now we know.
It's official. Yes.
Yeah. No, but we don't want the price to be a barrier of entry. Right. Our goal is to get the messages out. We do have expenses, like Karen said, that we've got to cover. So it's got to be, we would love to do this full time. This is what we're being called to do full time. But until it gets up on its feet, we can't yet. So, but until that happens, we feel that the benefit is in keeping it as low as possible so that people can have access to all this stuff.
Mhm.
And you can either, I think the low price model is like $7 or something like that.
$7.77.
Right. And you get weekly new episodes. Every week you get like 12 or 13 or 15 new episodes of different shows.
Yeah,
And
we're
then-
not talking chintzy here.
No, no.
Content.
We've got
It's high quality. Yeah.
we've got over 600 hours of content on the platform already. We just launched in January. So
Wow.
tell me about it. We had to populate those manually.
Hello, manually.
but it's a labor of love. No, honestly.
Yeah.
But then the upper version, subscription or membership, whatever you want to call it,
Mhm.
it's $11 a month, and it gives you access to
11.
Right, 11.
Yeah.
And it gives you access to all the content right away, so you can binge it all instead of having to wait week in and week out for the content. So it's really
And
pretty
that,
cool.
that level will also have the access to the community portal that we're talking about. And
And if
other
they pay for a year in advance, they get a way steep discount, right? I think it's $111 for the whole year.
yeah.
So I mean,
Wow.
and then there's other things that come with it, but
Mhm.
why take up all your time to talk it through?
Benefit. Just
yeah.
everyone go to newrealitytv.com, right? .com.
Yes.
Yep, that's it.
And check out all the benefits. It really is such, especially, I mean, like, how much is psychotherapy? Well, I can tell you, it's way more spendy
Yeah.
than
Yeah.
getting your daily, hourly dose of
Yeah.
reality TV. It's really just the energy. I've gotten to interview a few people, including your lovely selves, and it's just so beautiful. It's just high energy, high quality, high caliber
Yeah.
content and folks. So way worth it. I can't sell it enough. So
Well, we
Thank
really
you.
believe that there's something for everyone. You know, we've got astrology, channeling, we've
Yes.
got past life regressions, we have
Good point.
shamanism, we have someone who reads your ancestors through your eyes, we have, energetic healing. We've got, you name it,
Yeah.
hypnotherapy, we've got it.
Lucid dreaming, astral projection,
Yeah.
all that kind of stuff. So whatever resonates with you, you're going to find it there. And we're constantly looking for new content partners to come on and bring a whole other perspective. Because really, at the end of it, at the heart of it, we're firm believers of many paths to one truth. And just like our fingerprints are all individual, snowflakes are all never two alike. How can we possibly think that our paths can be exactly the same one to the other? We believe that every path is uniquely different. And the best way to go about it is, instead of saying this is the truth, instead say, here's all the possibilities of truth. Which one seems to be the one that calls to you? And by the way, you might want to mix that one with this one and that one over here too, and bring them all together to make your personal truth.
Or even if you
Ooh.
just need that relaxation, we have meditations.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, and we have a fairly new show, a woman who goes out into the field and records the vibrations of plants and makes music out of that. It's so cool.
Yeah, wild inspiration.
So
Look it up.
cool.
It's very cool. Yeah.
Yes.
And she actually plays the music on the show. It's remarkable. It really
Oh
is.
Really?
no,
It's
that's
so cool.
that's for me.
Yeah.
That is
Yeah,
for me.
yeah.
That is awesome. Oh,
Well, get it
gosh.
while it's hot. It just started releasing last week. So there's a couple
Yes.
of episodes up there. And before it gets locked down, hurry up and get it.
No, mine. I'm going to get it. I'm a plant person.
Yeah.
Hey everyone, do you love the Reluctant Medium podcast and want to support the podcast while getting some amazing perks in return? Join us at the Patreon community. By becoming a Patreon supporter, you'll get access to exclusive content, behind the scenes insights, early episode releases, and a whole ton more. As a member, you'll also have access to spiritual content like guided meditations, in-depth discussions on mediumship, and exclusive interviews with spiritual experts. It's a great way to show your love and stay even more connected with myself and the show. Sign up today at patreon.com/thereluctantmedium and help The Reluctant Medium keep bringing you the content that you love. I wholeheartedly appreciate each and every one of you. Thanks for listening, and I hope to see you on Patreon soon. I am curious. You said something earlier, Will, that struck me, and I wanted to come back to it. You said that you first started, I think it was the podcast. You first started the podcast to help yourself.
Yes.
What was that? what needed
Well,
addressing?
you're a mind counselor. You probably know exactly what happened, right? I had I had an existential crisis. I had a breakdown.
Uh-huh.
I had to take time off work. I looked at myself in the mirror, did not like who I was. I found what I realized when all the walls came down and I stood there naked in front of the mirror, seeing myself for the first time probably in my life. I did not like what I saw. I was incredibly judgmental, very angry, very self-entitled. It was a typical television executive kind of guy.
Okay.
And I almost lost Karen. I almost lost my daughter. I almost lost my career. I almost lost everything. Had I not, and I know COVID is a terrible thing for so many people, and I don't mean to downplay that whatsoever, but COVID is what saved me and saved my family because it forced me to look in the mirror like that. And then it forced us to stay together and work through things. And part of that was to go to a mental health counselor who somehow the universe was so kind to me and dropped the perfect person in my lap who then introduced me to meditation or reintroduced me to meditation. I had looked into this stuff a long time ago when I was in my 20s. But then reintroduced me to meditation, which I took to immediately like a fish to water. And then that opened the door to further conversations with myself. I opened up conversations with God again. I would read passages from that in the morning after I meditated, and I would speak into my phone my thoughts on what I had just read, and I would put that out into the world as a way to affirm, right? My affirmations out there. Over time, they were getting to be so personal that I ended up taking them down. But instead, I reached out to people I knew back in my 20s when I was doing these researches and said, hey, I'm seeking. I need to figure out who I am, why I'm here, why this stuff has been happening, what I need to do to be the person I want to be. So I would record these conversations I would have with people. You can call them interviews if you want, but really they were conversations with them. And those became the first episodes of the Skeptic Metaphysician because I wanted to believe, but I can't just believe that you are channeling some alien baby because someone says so, right?
Yeah.
Those conversations were so profound to me that it helped me to understand what had been happening. And then, of course, coupled with the counseling that I did with the doctor, who literally saved my life. I mean, Dr. Jones, if she's listening right now, I mean, I doubt she is, but how cool would that be if she was? But no.
We are drawing in the energy of Dr. Jones right now. Directed toward this.
So the show was really a way for me to help me come to terms with what I had discovered about me and how to change that. Because the questions weren't just, why was I angry? Why was I self-indulgent? Why was I judgmental all the time? It was, what caused me to be that way and to be blind to it? And how can I make it better so that I don't become or slide back into that person that I was before? That's what the show was about.
Whew, that is so rich and deep. And I'm really curious then about if you can make connections around the current state of the world, right? COVID was a broken openness for you, your existential crisis, broken openness for you. Is there a way, are you utilizing similar strategies, or are there suggestions that you have or things that both of you, either of you, are doing to manage the current state of the planet? The whole planet. It's crazy right now.
100%. And it's getting crazier by the minute. I had a conversation with someone the other day about this. And I'll tell you what my belief system is. And I'll pass the microphone on to Karen because I'm hogging all of your time. But I believe...
Karen's like, as usual.
I know. I know. I believe that the Earth is transitioning. Right? We're going from was it Capricorn, age of Capricorn, to age of Aquarius, whatever it was. I know we're going to the age of Aquarius.
Yes.
every birth is messy, is difficult, it's ugly, it's challenging, it's really hard. And we're going through a rebirth. The world, the planet is going through a rebirth, and everyone on her is going through a rebirth. And there are those that are fighting the rebirth and making things ugly. They're digging in their heels and saying, no, I won't go. And others who are saying, oh, take me, baby. I'm here, ready, right? The two factions are splitting apart faster and faster, and neither one is looking at the other in any way other than sheer disgust. How could you possibly, right? What I have learned, and Karen, I think, will agree with this, is I don't have all the answers. I'm not right all the time.
Karen, your face is
This is for her. Yeah, this is for her.
And we have it recorded on video.
I know.
Yeah. And because I've learned that through the course of my growth period, and I'm still growing, I will always grow for the rest of my life. But I've learned that I can't look at the other side of the aisle and go, what the fuck is wrong with you? I still do. I shouldn't, but I still do. But at the end of it all, the days that are the best days for me are the days where I go, that's their truth. That's their path. That's their thing. I don't have to get involved. All I need to focus is on me and my family. And as long as we are good and we model that good, others will see it and will act in turn. And if you can do that with you and yourself, your family and your friends and your people around you, and then they do that for others, little by eventually it's going to spread like a wildfire. And it's going to burn out all that negativity and all that junk that's out there that is fighting, trying to put the fire out. Because that's what they're trying to do. That's not mistaken.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
But I firmly believe that we are at a point where we are going to split, and those that are on one side will stay on this earth, and the ones that are on the other side will go to a different one. And eventually it will work itself out. I really believe that.
Yeah. There's the faith in that, the leaning into that. I completely agree. You can feel it.
Yeah.
You can feel it. And you don't have to be an empath in order to feel that separation. That I love how you said every birth is messy. It's true. Yeah.
That's exactly what we're going through.
Yeah.
So, Karen?
I can't disagree really with what he's saying. I also see it. So I have a degree in anthropology, and I see it a lot as an evolution, and it's about survival of the fittest, but not in so fact as you have to kill, whatever the stronger animal can eat the other one. I think there's a mindset that feels like that's how it has to be. But survival of the fittest can also be, the story of the oak and the whatever twig or little plant that can bend around?
Bamboo. Yep.
I think that in that case, it's different. It's not being the hardest or the strongest. It's being the most flexible, using the tools that you have that might not even seem like tools. And I think you have to be active in promoting this and modeling, but even more so, I say, because I don't always manage to, but I try to always look for something, when you're interacting with someone, look for something that, they've worked, like if you're at the 7-Eleven and there's always that person that has like the nails that are up to here and then have 15 different colors and, I'm just saying, wow, your nails look fantastic. Doesn't mean I like them, but they spent time on it. And that means something to them. So for you to acknowledge something that they've done, it's like, wow. And that little comment, you just don't know the effects it can have. And so taking those actions and sharing that love and, thinking about looking at things the way the Dalai Lama says, you don't know what someone else is going through during the day. So if they cut you off in traffic, maybe they're rushing off to the hospital. I mean, you just don't know. So trying to use that mindset and just spread those little comments that are so easy, they take nothing for you to do. That, I think, is what's going to help to evolve and to make it less of a war that's raging between the good and the bad and more of an envelopment of love.
Mm.
Yeah. It's interesting how something so tiny, right? Like, oh my God, those nails, girl.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah. Exactly.
It spreads.
Yeah.
It does.
But when you think about it, the only way that you can be in a mind space to be able to do that, to think about saying something to that girl with the nails, is to be at peace within yourself.
I don't know. I think it can help you get at peace
I
within
agree,
yourself.
but
you make yourself
top down, bottom up.
practice. Yeah. You
Yeah.
know?
It's a very
Because
good point.
getting up to work out, it sucks. I'm not a morning person. But once I start doing that and I start feeling better, it's not that I just spring up in the morning at 6 o'clock. I don't work out in the morning anymore, but I used to. I don't work out at all anymore. But when I did, it was in the morning, and I'm not a morning person.
This is a perfect example of everyone thinks that Karen and I are very much aligned in every way in our thought processes and our belief systems.
And that's what I love about it.
And we're not at all. Yeah. No, because when she feels terrible getting up to go work out, and then she feels better as she's doing it, I feel terrible when I wake up to work out, and I feel worse as I'm working out. So it's a completely different opposite effect for me. But for me, it harkens back to who I was before. If I'm not in the right mind space inside myself, I don't find myself thinking positive thoughts about anybody else either. Right. So for me, I've got to be centered in myself and be ready to notice that she went through so much effort to get those nails done the way she's doing it. You are an angel walking on this planet. So it's different.
Well.
You're perpetually in that state. I, however, might be more on the other side of the aisle and trying to work our way up there.
Then think about it this way. To get to that mind space, you have to do it for yourself.
Well, yeah. No, yes. Yes,
So,
exactly.
either way, it's like an effort
Yeah.
that you have to do.
Yes.
Yeah,
So-
the inertia.
Yeah.
The inertia.
Yep.
By the way, I just want to stop, highlight this for a second, and I'm hoping that this spreads far and wide. You know how the two of you have your disagreements and you don't think exactly the same, and yet there's an honoring. That makes sense. Oh, I see where you're coming from there. This is what we need. Oh my God.
Yes.
Thank you for that beautiful modeling of that. Yes, please. More of that.
Dr. Maria, this was not always the way.
No, it was not.
I believe it.
This was not always the way. Right.
Takes effort still,
It
right?
takes
Inertia,
effort,
yes.
And that's why I said it was when I was expressing my story, this was for Karen, because she knows that I have sticky notes to this day all over my office that say you do not have to always be right. Your attachments are the cause of all your issues.
You don't have to win.
You don't always have to win, right?
Wait.
I know. These are concepts that were completely foreign to me, right? So this is someone who has constantly strived to be the best he can be. I'm super competitive in the sales things. I worked in the industry that is cutthroat television world. I worked for NBC, but it is a cutthroat industry. So you learn to be go, and me over everyone else because I'm going to win. It was a monumental, earth-shattering, life-changing shift when I finally realized, actually when Dr. Jones actually asked me, why do you feel you always have to win? When it really hit me, I went, oh my God, I can't work anymore. I gotta, right? And so that to this day is my new mantra, I guess. Like, I don't have to win. There's no reason. I don't have to be right. If you believe something that I think you're crazy for, why do I have to believe that you're wrong? You're absolutely right in your thought processes. It doesn't resonate with me, but with you, it works. That's freaking awesome.
And I think for me, part of that is just really recognizing the fact that everyone, no matter who they are, how they act, how they respond to you or not, is based on how they were brought up, what their experience was. And you don't know the crap that people have gone through.
Nope.
And maybe them, cutting you off and flipping you the bird is like so much better than their dad who would have shot you. I mean,
That's right.
You just don't know. So I
that's
try to
exactly
always
right.
think about that. When I get really angry I'm like, okay, I don't know what shit they went through, but I'm glad I didn't have that life.
Yeah.
And, I'm fortunate.
Right.
And so
Right.
it helps.
Right.
Michael Singer talks about samskaras. Right? A samskara is a thought form that you have created in your mind based on past experiences. So if every time you eat the first time you ever ate a chocolate chip ice cream cone, the pretty girl winked at you and said, "You're really cute." Now, every time you eat that ice cream, you're going to think, "I feel good." right? Where in the opposite, the first time you ever had that chocolate chip ice cream, a bully came and hit your hand and the ice cream fell through and you started crying, and now you're going to stay away from chocolate chip ice cream because you have this same scare in your mind that believes that every time that you eat an ice cream cone, bad things are going to happen to you. To the point where you create that, you make that happen, you create that reality. And he uses your analogy of someone cutting you off in traffic. When someone cuts you off in traffic, we all get like, why? Well, because we're being competitive. We have this thing that if they cut me off in traffic, then he's going to make me go slow and I'm not going to be late for school, for work, because that's what's happened to you in the past. When in essence, what might be helpful to do is let him in. What possible harm can be done? So they slow you down? So you slow you down. We all agree that everything happens for a reason, right? In this space, for the most part, I believe we feel that everything happens for a reason, for our greater good. Maybe there was a reason why you needed to go slow. Maybe there's an accident waiting to happen a mile down the road that had you not let that person in, you would have been involved in, right? You just never know. So breathing into these SAM scares and letting them go, that's a life changer.
Oh my gosh, I mean, yes, that literally just happened. I was on vacation and, now we have Google Maps and I had Google Maps up and I was chatting with my boyfriend, blah, 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 and I missed a turn. And it was like, oh, guess we're not supposed to go that way. Okay.
Right.
And just rerouted and it worked out. I don't know what we missed. I don't know what we passed that we were supposed to pass. I don't know. And you know what? It's okay either way. I don't need to know. I just know that happened for a reason. By the way, being cut off on traffic is the first time I realized that meditation actually works. I was very, very similar to you. Well, I was bitter and angry, and this was my fertility issues, and I was just like, life is bogus, and this is stupid, and I'm going to prove this shit wrong. And I started meditating, and 90 days later, I was in New Jersey at the time where everything is like, somebody cut me off, and I went, ooh, I hope they're okay. And I went, what the hell?
There goes that theory.
Who am I even? Yeah, it's amazing when you start. And actually, this is a question for you, Karen. The final question. I just want to bring it back down to like earth brass tacks.
Yeah, I'm sorry.
Taurusy person. No, I love it. I love this. I love the upper, like, ooh, we're going to get woo, and then bringing it back down to what can people do now? But I have a specific question for you, Karen, because I'm very like woo and up in the clouds and also mental, like thinking things through. And I'm very practical that way. But it wasn't until I hired a nutritionist that my spiritual stuff really mediumship, everything just exploded. And I know you work with food. You're a food person, right?
Yes.
Nutritionist, yes? Or you just...
I have a nutritional therapy certification, but I've never used it.
Yeah. Okay.
But I have a cooking show, so I do a lot of cooking.
Yes, right. You know things.
Yes, she does.
I'm curious about that. That, like, just eating well, like I suppose this is both open to both of you, but I'm curious about how you just take care of yourselves, your body, your physical body. We've covered spiritual stuff. We've covered mental health stuff. What about your body? Like, what do you do?
Unfortunately, that seems to kind of be the last priority for a lot of people, myself included. What has helped us to stay on a somewhat, decent track is the fact that we have a daughter, and I want her to be healthy. And we, like, for probably her first 10, 12 years, she had only organic food. And I was very, very careful. And now she's like out with her friends, and, we're busy, and you eat what you can. Really, I would do the best that you can. So on my cooking show, I do stuff that's quick, affordable, and it'll get you out of the kitchen, because a lot of people just don't have time. But you want to feed your family well. So just do your best and don't be too hard on yourselves. Make what you like. Find some produce that you really like and try every different type of way to prepare that, because at least you're getting that, and you'll know that you like that. And they have so much more nutrients than people realize.
Yes, right. Can you tell the effect? Like, I know when I was just on vacation, right? And of course, vacation includes fried. I was in the South. How do you do it? Like, oh,
lots of fries.
God. So much of the fried stuff. Yeah. And I know I'm like, ooh, I'm cranky, and like tired.
Yeah. It's
And then
I will, whenever I go out to eat at a restaurant, every single time, the next morning I wake up and I can't get my wedding ring off. I'm so bloated and I feel bad, but it's
Yes.
one of those things where you run out of time. And so we do it so much more often than we should. But yeah, I can absolutely feel the difference.
Yeah. And then when you are feeling bloated and tired and cranky and someone cuts you off on the highway.
Exactly. It's
Or
all a vicious circle.
Yeah.
You're not good within yourselves. You can't compliment the nails. I'm telling you, there's something to this thing.
That's when you have to compliment the nails. You have to
I know.
make yourself compliment the nails.
Fake it till you make it, baby.
Exactly. It's true, though. It's true because then it becomes part of who you are.
No, I don't disagree.
It's true.
It's just harder for some of us than others.
Yeah. It sounds both. It's like top down and bottom up. I think this episode is going to be titled something about nails complimenting nails.
I like your nails.
Oh, it's always lovely to
as
hang
long as-
out with you too.
As long as it's not nails on a chalkboard, then we'll be good. Either way. But, no.
Oh, God.
I used to do that when I was a teacher. To
No,
get my kids to
no.
be quiet.
No, God, you went there. I can't.
Just the threat of that. I'd be like, hey,
Man.
and they would like every mouth would close.
Absolutely.
Why? No,
Instantaneously. I know. Hey, thank you so much for being a part of the Reluctant Medium, you guys, again today. You're just lovely and wonderful humans and good energy and making a splash on the planet. I'm so
thank you.
grateful for you. And
Well,
I'm happy to be a part of it. So grateful.
Well, I was just going to say we're grateful that you're part of it,
Yeah,
first of all.
absolutely.
We're very grateful you're part of it. We're very grateful that you brought us on to talk about it. And we're very grateful that for the work that you're doing because what you're doing is helping a lot of people. So thank you for what you do. Seriously.
Yeah. Thank you. Thank you. Just the thank yous. We're going to have thank you wars here.
And the thank you goes to...
I know. All right. I'm sure I'll have you on again sometime in the future.
Sounds fun.
That'd be great.
Thank you for joining the Reluctant Medium podcast today. I hope that this episode has brought you beautiful, high vibration and that it continues emanating from your heart space for the rest of the day and beyond. Don't forget to join the Reluctant Medium on patreon.com, and you can also visit thereluctantmedium.us and the Reluctant Medium TV show on newrealitytv.com. Until next time, my friend, may you be well.